Yesterday we talked about multiplication of rational expressions. This is a quick summary about multiplication. On step 1, you factor the polynomials in the numerator and the denominator. Step number 2, you're going to apply the multiplication if you have a over c, and a, b, c, and d are polynomials, right? A over c times c over d. This is equals to find the solution, you're going to multiply all the numerators, a times c, over, and at the bottom, you're going to multiply all the denominators, b times d. And step number 3, simplify. You're going to cancel out all the common factors. You're going to find the factors that are the opposites to reduce to ratio -1. You're going to simplify the expression that you just found. Okay? This is the summary of the step-by-step. To be honest, sometimes I do step number 2 first, and then I do step number 1. Sometimes I prefer to do the multiplication first, and then factor out, and after that simplify. But it doesn't matter. It's up to you. Check this example. Multiply and simplify. 4x plus 8 divided by x squared minus 25 times x minus 5 over 5x plus 10. Okay, first thing, you're going to multiply, let me do step number 2 first. Okay, step number 2, multiply all the numerators and all the denominators and put it under one line, one long line. You have all the numerators multiplied, all the denominators multiplied. Now, step number 1. I'm going to do step number 1 now. Factor out all the polynomials that you can. So we have 4x plus 8. We're going to factor out as 4 times x plus 2. You have x squared minus 25. This is x squared minus 5 squared. We can factor out, because this is difference of perfect squares. There is a formula, right? X minus 5, you cannot simplify, you cannot factor out, and 5x plus 10, you can factor out 5 times x plus 2. Now the last step, find the common factors, and that's maybe pretty clear, right? X plus 2 and x plus 2, you can cancel. X minus 5 and x minus 5 you can cancel, and at the end you're going to have a very simpler, nicer, and shorter, and that can work much easier. Look at that, 4 over 5 times x plus 5. This is equivalent to the whole thing. All this whole thing here. Very complex, complicated, a multiplication of expressions, and you have several coefficients, several exponents, lots of terms. You can simplify into a very nice and simple expression with 4 over 5 times x plus 5. That's the magic of simplification. That's what, and let me tell the truth. I think the factoring and the simplification is where the hard work is. Because to multiply is simple. It's just a simple step, right? The multiplication is simple, but then you have to factor out and you have to simplify to find the final answer. Any questions about it? Any questions about yesterday? This is a review from yesterday. If you understood the topic of yesterday, the multiplication, you will know how to do the topic of today's class, division of rational expressions. Pay close attention. To work division, you just need one little step before one additional step as multiplication. Pay close attention now. If you have, let's say, P over Q, divided by R over S. Okay? So P over Q divided by R over S. You're going to work this out by, first you repeat P over Q. Don't change anything here. Now you're going to switch, instead of division, you're going to switch to multiplication. And you will reverse this next rational expression here. What's the denominator becomes the numerator, and the numerator becomes the denominator. And that's it. That's it. Division, this is the only additional step. Because from now on, you're going to work exactly as the multiplication. No, not different at all. See? The same step by step that we worked yesterday, you're going to work today after you switch, you change, you make the division into a multiplication. Any questions? Let's maybe we can show on the example, and so we can understand how to apply it. And check this. We have this example where we need to divide the rational expressions. 12t squared minus 27 over 4t squared minus 2t. We will divide by, just make it, divide by 9 minus 4t squared over 2t minus 1. Okay? How do we do this division? What's the first step? What's the first thing I have to do? Remind me, tell me. Do you remember? What should I do now? I want to work this division and I don't know what to do. Help me out. Tell me, what's the next step? Let me ask a few of you. Let me say, what do you think, Chris DL? What do you think, Smiling? What is going to be my next step to solve this division problem? I have a rational expression divided by another rational expression. I want to start this. What's going to be the first step? The first thing I have to do. Tell me. Chris DL, what do you think? You can guess. You can say anything that you want. But maybe you have a clue here on this property. What is the first thing to do to work a multiplication, division, to work a division? Divide and then simplify. Yes, Jacob. Yes. But before we divide, the first step, I'm going to divide. But the first step to find the division, the result before I simplify, there's the first step I show here. On this property here, what is the first thing I should do? Can you spot? Can you see? Anyone remember? Chris Dial, do you remember? Smiling. What do you think? Do you remember? What's the first thing to do? Yes, no, maybe. Chris DL and Smiling, you're not getting any answers from you. Let me check here with, do you know Jalexis? And Madi, what do you think, Madi? What is going to be the next step? Actually, the first step. So the division is going to be switched. It is going to be transformed into a multiplication. Let me write here 12t squared minus 2t over 4t squared minus 2t. Now instead of division, I'm going to write here multiplication, right? So we will multiply, and the next rational expression I will reverse. I will flip. What is the denominator becomes the numerator, 2t minus 1. What is the numerator becomes the denominator. And I will work this out as a multiplication now. It's not a division anymore. It's exactly as we worked yesterday, the multiplications. So, to multiply this, to keep working, now we will multiply all the denominators. I like to draw a line here covering all the numerators, all the denominators. So we multiply the numerators, we multiply the denominators to find the final answer. And on this point, you need to simplify, you need to factor out. Now let's check here, what can we factor out? Check this one, 12t squared minus 2t. Maybe you can factor out 2t times 2, oops. 2t times 3t. That's something wrong here. Wait a minute. 27. Sorry, 27. This is 27. Sorry, 27. That means we can factor out 3t. 3t times 4t 3 times 4t minus 4t squared minus 9, right? Over. Then we can factor out here on the bottom 2t times 2t minus 1. Cool. And this we cannot factor out, 2t minus 1, just keep it. And this one, this we can actually factor out because this is difference of perfect squares, but just let's keep for a minute because maybe we can simplify before. Maybe don't need to factor out. Check this. And at this point, you're going to find the common factors. Find the common factors that you can cancel. And 2t minus 1 and 2t minus 1 on the numerator, denominator, you can simplify. And you have 4t squared minus 9. And here at the bottom, 9 minus 4t squared. Those are opposites, right? If you have opposites, you can factor it out, but it will be a ratio -1. You're gonna substitute by a -1. This 4t squared minus 9 divided by 9 minus 4t squared divided is equals to -1. Okay? So what's remaining? What's remaining from the whole thing? What's remaining is 3, -3, because we have a -1, -3 over 2t. Okay, and let me show the whole thing that we have done. Remember, division is going to be kind of the same process of multiplication. Only this first step that is different. First step, you're gonna change, you're gonna flip, you're gonna make this into a multiplication, and then the next step by step is the same as we have done yesterday. Any questions? And the hard part, factoring is going to be hard work, and after that, identifying the common factors that you can cancel out It's a little bit of hard work. But the multiplication, the division is just an automatic, something simple. The hard thing is to factor out and to simplify, I think. In my opinion. If you have a different opinion, you can say, you can tell me, but in my opinion, what's harder is not the division, it's not the multiplication, but the part of the simplification. And if you have questions, start now. If you don't have any questions, or if it's still confusing, you don't even know if you have questions or not, you can keep it for the quiz. You're gonna practice, and we can apply, you can ask questions during the quiz. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can type now. If you don't have, let's move on and practice. But before, just tell me what do you think is the answer for this bell work, and I'm confident all of you are going to find the right answer. Let me see how many students I have here in the meeting. If you add all the items, you're gonna have 3 burgers, 3 drinks, and 3 fries. And the total price 24. So divide 24 by 3, and you find the price of the combo, $8. And let's move now to our quiz. This is kind of just to warm up. It's a game to warm up, to get ready. So now we can work on our quiz. And check this. Divide the rational expressions. And we have 5x over 7 divided by 10x squared over 21. Let's find out the answer. Well, you keep 5x over 7, and you're gonna flip, right? 21 over 10x squared. Right? This is equals. And just draw a long line, multiply all the numerators, multiply all the denominators. Cool? Now check first the numbers. I like to work first with the numbers. And we have 5, we have 21, we have 7, and we have 10. We can simplify. 21 with 7 is 3, and 5 with 10 is 2. So 3 over 2. Cool? Now check the variables. We have x on the numerator and x squared on the denominator. So keep the one with the highest exponent, and you will simplify, because the exponent here is 1, right? So you can simplify this. Subtract 1 and just cancel this. X, 2 minus 1 is 1. We don't need to represent 1 and the exponent, right? So this is the final answer, this is the right answer.